Not
2-second delay from what?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
when I click start until it turns into the stop button. Like it used to be instantaneous, and now there's
Both
like
ways?
a little hezzy.
Oh yeah, mine still delays from start to or from when I hit the stop button.
Well, now
Mine
we're
has
started.
mine has a small delay when I hit stop, but not when I hit start. Anyway, what's up, everybody?
Morning.
Tuesday morning. I got some power back. That was the first time, by the way, Awesemo Morning Show, Dave Loughran, Josh Engleman, Ben Rasa, coming at you 5 days a week. That was the first time in 3 years that I've lived at this house that I've lost power for more than 30 seconds.
Really?
It was down for
That's pretty impressive.
I lose it all the time.
So we live across the street from the high school. So there's always been like, put it this way. The high school, at least at what everyone thinks, is because the high school is right there, something about our grid just makes it more difficult to lose power. I don't know. Maybe there's a lineman out there that could tell me that's bullshit, but literally have never lost power in 3 years until yesterday. Trees came down on power lines and we were down for 3.5 hours.
Like that, even that doesn't sound all that bad. The way that I've been losing
for
power.
me, it was brutal, man. I'm not used to that.
We have an echo. Apparently, but
am I supposed to read a book?
Here there was a lot of trees down. It was hit and miss of like who lost power. I survived. But it was pretty bad for it was touch and go for a while there. Heavy winds, heavy rains. Excited to have gotten it back, and it's good to have you back, Luffy. We lost you in the middle of the show.
Yeah, I tuned into the rest of it on my phone. Nice job, fellas. I was following along. Yeah, last night I was actually on YouTube. You get stuck in a YouTube rabbit hole and things get ugly real quick. Ben doesn't strike me as somebody that ever gets stuck in a YouTube rabbit hole. But Josh, on the other hand, I could see him getting deep down it once or twice.
Yeah, I spiral from time to time. Mine's not normally like anything of substance. It's not like, oh, I started watching this video on rabbits, and then I found out about the disease that the rabbits cause and how they pass it along. No, mine's just like, I watched 4 straight hours of 90s music videos.
So last night, I watched about 3 hours. Do you know what microbursts are?
Never heard of it.
I mean, I got a ton of jokes for it. I don't know what they are for real.
It's like a weather pattern where basically just the bottom falls out of a thunderstorm and you get like 100-mile-per-hour straight line winds that just destroy everything in their path.
Nope.
Right? I found like every one of them that's ever been filmed in the United States and just couldn't. I tell you what, weather is a son of a bitch, and I could not stop watching. It was amazing. People just getting annihilated. I shouldn't say that. Cars and trees and stuff just getting lit up. So needless to say, I'm a little tired this morning.
Yeah, that's why I don't live. Those poor places, like Moore, Oklahoma, and those places come to mind where it's just like every couple years, you're rolling the dice. It's scary.
Dude, the worst one was in Arizona.
Really?
Yeah.
It's amazing knowing that you're not like hitting the green before you do this, because that's how you really start to spiral. This is all just clear-headed Laffy, just diving into weather videos.
Most of my YouTube wormholes are because of Laffy. Like I rarely get down them, but sometimes you start me on a path and then I go a little bit. That's probably how it happens.
It is worth it. I've got it. It's well worth it. But yeah, I think I've seen every tornado video that's on YouTube. It's just, it's out there. You got to check it out. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about today. First things first, how about Christian McCaffrey? Man, just
got paid
a monster deal. Highest paid running back. Josh, I got to tell you, man, as good as he is, I just don't think it's worth it. And you know what? Maybe I'm on the outside looking in here, but $16 million a year, 4-year extension, highest paid running back in NFL history. Like Ezekiel Elliott's getting 15 million per year. Le'Veon Bell third with 14.1 million per year. I get it. Christian McCaffrey simply is that good, but he's not going to win you games on his own. You paid Teddy Bridgewater to come over and take over at the helm. I don't know. It's a lot of money to probably not win a lot of games.
Okay, so I've got two things to say on this. I don't follow NFL contracts nearly as much as I do in other sports. When I saw the alert, I got the alert on my phone. It gets cut off, and it's just like Christian McCaffrey signing 4-year extension, averaging 16 million per year. ... And I'm just like, oh wow, he took like a monster discount. And I was like, he's getting paid like Jan Mahinmi. I had no structure of like who else was paid around him. I would have thought that Christian McCaffrey would have got like $30 million a year.
Yeah. Well, running backs just don't get that type of money anymore, man.
Right. I've just been like out of the loop on paying attention to the scale of that. So I was just like, oh, that doesn't seem like a ridiculous contract at all. I mean,
you're right. Yamahimi really getting 64 million over 4 years.
Right.
That's insane. $16 million a year.
That's what I'm saying.
Ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Like,
put that in context. That's crazy.
You're right.
That's
the first thing I thought of. I was like, that's like Jan Mahinmi money. I mean, this was like, I was standing at the grocery store looking at it on my phone when it happened. That's exactly, anyway, not the point. Like, you have to pay him this money, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's impossible to think that's a bad deal. He is going to do, like, he has done everything that you could possibly ask him to do in that scenario.
Yeah, if he was in the NBA, he'd be poor. Like, I get that. But in the NFL, it is crazy, Ben. When Josh puts it in context like that, you're talking about the highest paid running back, but also somebody that is paid the same as a third string center on the Washington Wizards.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a different landscape. I mean, all this, look at Bobby Bonilla still getting paid. It's just different. It's a tough spot, honestly, because I think you do have to pay him, but I'm 100% in line with you, Laffy. Like, I don't think that's an actual good thing for the future of the Panthers either, as illogical as that sounds. It's nothing against Christian McCaffrey. It's just a blanket statement of the position. I don't think anyone can transcend it enough that you want to structure your team like that. So it's just a really tough spot for them, honestly.
Are we all on the same page that, like, he should be, let's just say, the highest paid running back in the league, or, you know, let's say top 3 if you just want to make that sort
Easily.
of like a blend. He's getting the right stature. We're just talking about whether that is relevant to a running back.
It's solely a positional thing. It has nothing to do with anyone. There's no running back right now, and I don't think there really is one that would justify what I think is overhaul. It's kind of like the Saquon argument, a little different though, like where it's like you're drafting him way up there. He's, I don't want to say a lock, but he was fantastic. And there's still a lot of people that say, regardless of that, you're just not allocating the worth of that pick right because of the depth of running back.
Look, I love Christian McCaffrey. He's amazing. What he can do with a football in his hand behind the line of scrimmage is unique to the game. And there's no one else that we've seen that does it like him, at least not in the game right now. But that doesn't necessarily, Ben, translate into wins. That's, if you're talking about a football team that wants an opportunity to get a shot at the Super Bowl, does it mean they can't have a good running back? No, it doesn't mean they can't have a good running back. But if you take a look at Super Bowl winners, right? If you look at the historical winners in the Super Bowl, let's take the last decade, okay? Patriots, again, or I'm sorry, who is it? Who is it last? Who just won it?
The Chiefs. The
Chiefs just won it with Damian Williams, right? And a carousel of running backs throughout the couple of years that they've been very good. The Patriots before that with a rookie runner who had bad knee. The Eagles before that with LeGarrette Blount, rookie, and Corey Clement, Jay Ajayi, who they brought on a rookie contract. Patriots before that with LeGarrette Blount. Denver Broncos, Patriots again. They never had They drafted a number one, a running back in the first round in like 2001, and he stunk. Seahawks had Lynch, fine. But then Ravens, Giants, Packers, Saints. No team in the last decade that has won a Super Bowl has a running back where you say he's the reason they won it. And if they didn't pay him, they probably wouldn't have won the Super Bowl.
That's where we're at. I mean, to me, it's almost the position's evolved in where you want specialists. Like you want a pass catcher, you want a goal line back. Certainly doesn't have to be the same guy. I think in a lot of ways it's better if it's not the same guy. And then, these teams that have top end guys like, Zeke and CMC, and it's great, but not at the expense of other parts of your team. It's really hard to structure around that. So again, it's such a tough spot because I say all this and then I say, well, if I was the Panthers, what would I do? I'd probably do the same thing. What is the other move? Let go your best player, not structure around him. That's a really tough spot too.
And I assume he's like a great guy too. Just
seems.
I assume he had a fantastic upbringing.
And why is that?
From a lineage of players in the NFL, like
Ed McCaffrey
he's got
season
pedigree in the NFL itself. It's not like he's just like some rando.
I mean, the guy, his brother's at Michigan. Everything you could want in a running back, he checks the box. And it's similar to Saquon. It's similar, Zeke maybe off the field issues, but that's neither here nor there. I just don't know exactly what, and people could speak more to this than me, but I guess I'll throw it back to you guys. What do you think the blowback is around him for the Panthers personnel? Like, do you think there are other guys or other positions that now will suffer because of this situation? Yeah. And that makes it really tough to justify.
That's why when Anthony Marcus, and what's up, Anthony? I know he joins us every morning. Yeah. Says, Lofty, you have to pay those guys, even though you don't need a great running back to win a Super Bowl. You have to win games to make it to the Super Bowl, and he is winning those games. The problem I have is, what does that take away from? If you're paying a running back $16 million per year, and he's really good, and he makes a ton of really good plays, I have a couple of concerns here. One, he's basically the type of workload that you're putting on Christian McCaffrey means that this is not a franchise guy. It's 4 years. I get that. So I'm, that's not lost on me. This isn't, a 20-year deal. It's not baseball. I get it. But last year, this dude saw 403 touches, which is insanity. The year before that, 326. But if he's gonna be a 400 touch guy for another year, how much do you really get out of him in year 3 of his contract? And without, they also, by the way, they also got rid of their best cornerback who could shadow Julio Jones and could actually make life difficult on number one receivers. So if you ask me, like, would I have paid a top corner? Yeah, probably. As much as I love Christian McCaffrey, I don't think Anthony says you need him to get to those big games, but I personally do not think you do. I think you can build teams elsewhere, and we've seen literally 10 straight Super Bowl champions do that.
Is he unique enough that he transcends this?
And that's the question.
Because he's not a running back. I mean,
no, that's the question.
Right. That's a positional designation for fantasy football, but he is very much a different breed of almost everybody. Like, it's different now.
That's the question, Josh. Like, if we were to have this discussion and someone were to make the pro McCaffrey argument, it's, well, he transcends the position and you won't find somebody like McCaffrey again. And then my argument is, okay, cool, you get 3 years of that, or 2 years before he's not the same guy he was 3 years ago.
Yeah, the mileage is a serious issue.
Yeah.
And it's not even, again, I keep saying this, but I'm going to have to keep repeating it. I don't blame them, but you're giving him, these carries are not meaningful. Like, all his touches next year are not going to be meaningful. They're not going to be good. So it's like, if they were going for it and it was an all-in situation, I would say, you know what? You have a small window. You give him 400 touches this year. You're a Super Bowl contender and you go for it. And in 4 years from now, you're probably going to be hamstrung because of that, but you live with it because you have a chance. They're rebuilding while they're doing this, which is such a bad timeline. And that's a big concern.
Jamal has a comment that I love and I agree with. And then I'll read Anthony. He said, Jamal says, I would take an elite O-line, an average running back over an elite running back, an average O-line. Not sexy, but more important if you're into the analytics aspect of thing. Anthony says it's harder to find an elite offensive line. Let's assume that's true. An elite offensive line can hold up for that has much longer tenure in the NFL than an elite running back with an average line.
Yeah.
Like Jason
they also
Peters,
benefit every other player on the field too.
Yes. Right. So in the event that elite running back goes down, you're screwed. If you have a decent running back who goes down behind a very good offensive line, you might be able to just replace him and plug and play. We saw Kansas City do that, right? Like we saw the Chiefs do that when good running backs went down or, beat up their girlfriends. We ended up seeing somebody take over, whether it was, Kareem Hunt is a piece of garbage. He's gone. And then, sorry, I guess we forget.
I was going to say, like, think about the old Broncos teams. Like Olandis Gary just getting popped in. It's like, oh, he ran for 1,000 yards.
Yeah, it is a plug and play. And on the flip side of that, if your O-line is decimated, I'll use the Bengals, even though I'm not saying Joe Mixon is Christian McCaffrey, but if you're getting hit in the backfield every play, it doesn't really matter how good you are. You're going to have problems if your offensive line can't hold up.
All right. Anthony's digging in his heels. Let's go one more here.
I've got a question for you guys then too, as a follow-up. Go ahead.
I said, who else are they going to pay on their team? The Panthers need him right now. They don't have to pay a top quarterback, so now is the time to pay him. Sure, I'm just telling you it's not going to win you a Super Bowl.
And I agree. I think, chat, a couple people are saying that, you got to pay him. I actually agree with that. I think you do have to pay him. I just don't think that it's going to translate to anything tangible in Carolina at all.
Yeah, right. It's not gonna win a Super Bowl. And
Super Bowl, they're going to be last in the South.
Here are the odds for the NFC South right now. Saints -110, Bucks +145, Falcons +700, Panthers +2,000.
There you have it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the division odds.
Yeah, right.
So all these carries are in a year where they're 20-1 to win the South.
They're 20-1 to be better than 3 other teams. We're not even talking about the rest of the league. 3 teams.
Right, 3 other teams. And to be fair, one of those teams is it's funny. It's not even that good of a division. The Saints are going to be very good. They added Manny Sanders. That's a good team, right? But the Falcons last year were a huge disaster. I think they're better than they were, but still not a great team. Matt Ryan's not getting any younger. And then we still don't know how Tom Brady is going to perform. This is not that difficult of a division.
Not the West.
What's that?
Well, I was gonna say the NFC West has taken over, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That division
it's funny because it was a terrible division 5 years ago.
It was the worst. And now it's just the Cardinals are probably still debatable as the worst team, and I certainly don't want to play them.
And the AFC West is a steaming pile of garbage.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they could get a little bit better, but right. The Las Vegas Raiders, the Denver Broncos, and you have the Chiefs, and now the Chargers have such a good offense, or the chance of having such a good offense with the amount of weapons. Hunter Henry, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams. There are a lot of good players on that team. It's just Phillip Rivers shot putting the ball 45 feet over your head didn't do anybody any favors last year. So that'll be an interesting.
You know who the leader in the clubhouse is for next quarterback of the Chargers?
Jameis.
Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Plus 175 for the Chargers. Dalton is plus 250 for the Jags, plus 300 for the Bengals. And Jameis is plus 250 for the Jags, plus 500 for the Chargers.
Very interesting. By the way, one more thing. How much, think about what you were saying. when Dave Gettleman went and said, screw it, we're getting Saquon Barkley. And then we're going to run him until the wheels fall off in his first year, where we don't have a chance of winning more than 5 or 6 games. Like, do you view that as a similar issue as paying these running backs when you don't have a chance to win? Because I do.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. I don't think that I capture what goes into keeping your fans happy and things like that. Like, I'm the type of person, if I can control things for a team in the NBA, I would play my superstar like 25 games a year. I would play my running back. I give him 10 carries every couple games, maybe. And then I give him 30 carries in important games. Like, I would, if my team was eliminated, I would shut him down for the year immediately.
Yeah.
These are things that I think would, in a long term, keep these guys healthy, but you can't practically do it because there's a business side to this. So, like, I wouldn't give Saquon carries until my team had a realistic chance to make the playoffs. And I feel the same way about Christian McCaffrey. Like, if you give him 800 carries or touches in the next 2 years, and then what? Like, then maybe you're building something and he's hurt already when you go into your 3rd year of this.
Yeah, now he's made of mush.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's not the answer. But is really the answer giving him 6 carries, 6 touches a game for the next 2 years? I don't think people would like that in Carolina.
Right.
I'm Christian McCaffrey. I'm getting out after this contract. Like, they're going to beat me into the ground. I'm going to make $16 million a year for 4 years, and I'm going to go sit on a beach from the time I'm 30.
It's a lot of money. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so yet. Helps us out a ton, particularly with the algorithm as we're trying to get this show back off the ground, given that there have been no sports. Although I'm optimistic. We'll get into that. I'm very optimistic. Subscribe, hit that notification bell as well. Josh, you're a contract guy, at least like with baseball and basketball, right?
Yes.
So I would ask you to pull up the Rams team, because Wybank said the Rams are falling off. You'd probably
they're in major trouble.
Yeah, I feel like you would be the perfect person to ask about this. You do, even though you don't follow NFL contracts as closely, you have a pretty keen eye for understanding where they went colossally wrong. And I think there's a lot of spots where they went wrong.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, this looks, because we mentioned that the NFC West is stacked. Like, the Rams might be a really bad team a couple of years from now, only a few years removed from going to the Super Bowl.
They're in major trouble moving forward, whether it's dead cap, whether it's not having first round draft picks. They hitched their wagon, and then they gave somebody else the horse, and we're like, drive this wherever you'd like. It's bad. It's so bad. Between the dead cap money for Gurley, Cook's now dead for 20-something million, 21.8 this year. And then having no real way to refill since there are no draft. What do you feel about Jared Goff? Because he's obviously making a couple bucks.
I don't think he's very good.
Few years. They are staring being really bad in the face after what? Let's say 18 months, 24 months of being the team that, like, I think this is the team that's the best team in the NFL moving forward. They flipped that on their head miraculously.
It's bad.
Yeah, they went for it and they missed.
Yeah.
But I think you can still go for it with a win now approach without potentially bankrupting your organization 2 years down the road. I feel like there was no middle ground here in the event that it doesn't work out.
I think they caught some bad breaks that not everyone's subjected to when you go all in. And that
don't pay running backs. I'm sorry, but
they handed out some real bad deals.
No, they did a lot of things. I also think they caught some bad breaks that accelerated how steep the fall off was, and that's a double-edged sword. You run that risk. And if you win the Super Bowl, no one cares. Like, you do have that opportunity, and if you get one, it's just viewed differently. Now, it doesn't always work, and that's the downside of pushing all your chips in the middle. That's a great debate of, I don't think we need to go down this wormhole. There are people that would rather be in the playoffs for 10 straight years with no rings, When then there's other people that say, I would rather my team win once a decade and miss the playoffs the other 9 years. That's just different perceptions for different people.
Yeah. And what happens now? So I'll ask both of you guys, what do you interpret happening when, Kupp and Woods and certain other big name players on this team are going to be, Aaron Donald, but what happened? I know he's getting paid a ton, but what happens when contracts are up for the players that are still on the team that are still very good?
It's a big problem.
They
walk. Saying, like, they're going to have to, right? They have to.
Yeah. The worst thing, I mean, again, this is just how I would view it, is when you have a team that's like pulling two different directions. Like, you want to tear it all down and then build up together. The worst thing is when you have a couple of superstars that you're paying for a Super Bowl run while you're rebuilding, because then you end up wasting. And then by the time you're ready with the next batch, you still have the holes from those superstars that are now not superstars, and you never are in the right spot at the right time.
Right.
The Goff contract is going to be a noose
problem
around his their neck, along with an anchor tied around his feet, because they have locked up X% of their cap with $36 million to Goff this year.
He has to restructure.
But
Chat
it's impossible for them to fill out anything with cheaper players because they don't have those draft picks. So they have no way to offset the high salary players because they don't have any real mechanism to bring in low salary quality.
So listen to this, Josh. Cooper Kupp's on the last year of his contract.
Mm-hmm.
He's currently on a 4-year, $3.8 million contract.
Yeah.
Like, not good. I mean, sure, that's been good for the Rams, but Cooper Kupp's going to get paid. No question. This guy's getting paid. He's coming off of a string of really solid campaigns, of course, where he wasn't injured. But he's a 1,100-yard receiver last year. In his rookie season, almost 900 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's only getting better. He's going to demand or command a lot of attention in free agency. Is there any? I mean, how do you keep him if you're the Rams?
You likely don't. But here's the question: do you want to be paying Cooper Kupp his going rate? So I would say no. Cooper Kupp is the guy that you want to find every 3 or 4 years in the draft. You don't want to pay Cooper Kupp $8-9 million a year, whatever that ends up being.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. He's a really good young player,
especially when you're going to be shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, unless you really believe in your quarterback, and I'm not so sure they do. I mean, when they paid him, they did, but
like they're plus 400 to win the West. That's third. Obviously, Cardinals are in theory coming on quickly.
Wait, if they're plus 400. What are the Seahawks and the Niners?
115 and 225. Flip those.
Plus 115,
Plus
right?
115 for the Niners, plus 225 for the Seahawks.
I like that Seahawks. I think the Niners are going to be a disappointment this year.
The Seahawks every year find a way to play better than I think. I have shorted the Seahawks. It's got to be 5 straight years at this point. And every year,
Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
They find ways.
Just a good organization.
It really is. There's nothing really to say how they do it with like they're not the same team, and yet somehow they still do it. But we're gonna see. A lot of these things have repercussions. That's the thing with this, and the last thing I'll say on it. Everyone's so instant gratification. They make these moves, and it's like, all right, what's gonna happen in game 1 of this year? Honestly, nothing. When you see what happens, it's 4 years from now. When you look at this team and you're like, man, what happened to them? It was moves, a couple years ago that really changed the direction of the franchise, and you don't see the repercussions or feel them until way down the road. And before you know what happened, you're in a totally different situation.
Yahoo's got best ball leagues.
Yeah, they
already posted, and that's exciting stuff. We maybe we can bump our best ball. I've done a bunch of best ball primers at Awesemo.com. If you haven't done them yet. They're really fun leagues. And if you haven't tried best ball leagues, There's a couple of leagues. First of all, Dynasty is my favorite because, you're actually committed to the team year after year. And the mistakes you make will actually haunt you, and the good decisions you make are with you for years. But there are paid best ball leagues already in the lobby, and some really solid ones at that, Ben. I know you've gotten into some best ball from time to time. The strategy, the approach is entirely different.
It is. It's something that I had never really done, but I read, we had some content on it. You mentioned the primer and whatnot, and that helped me get up to speed. There's a lot more strategy than I thought. And that's one of the things I'm excited to dive into here on the site is how you go for that massive upside. Cause you're really just going for it all. You're trying to correlate, you're trying to structure, how can I kind of that same concept? How can I have my whole team going for it at once? Because that's the whole concept of it. The dynasty thing is interesting. I've never done one, but I'm looking forward to it just because of, you can get some diamonds in the rough. Like Josh was talking about Cooper Kupp. Like you want to get these guys before they kind of come on the scene, and you can grab some extreme value if you can be early to it. So those are two things I'm looking forward to providing some content for in the near future.
Yeah, and we certainly will be. Josh, I think the NFL season starts on time, and I feel pretty confident about that. Cue the comments in chat saying that we have no chance of any sports being played this year. Not buying it. Fans in the stands, different situation. I might be slightly more optimistic than others, but at the same time, I think seeing that, and sorry to make the quick U-turn here, but this is, we want to make sure that everyone's filled in each day on what's happening in the sports world, because ultimately that's our job as well. You already have several governors discussing and coordinating a plan to begin reopening the economy. That's good news. Now, a different conversation for another day is, will it work? Will we have a second wave? Are we going to be screwed? But the fact that we're trying to implement something is good news for sports potentially returning in some form or fashion. And I personally think if testing is going to be plentiful in the months or the weeks down the road, they need time. So let's say a couple months down the road, it's not outlandish to think that they could safely house these players in a few stadiums, let them play, not in front of an audience, and keep them safe. I expect sports to be back relatively shortly. By relative, I mean a couple months, a few months.
Then we're in the same ballpark.
Yeah,
although you could just be in Florida and let the governor let you know that the WWE is deemed essential business.
Of course, Florida.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? I have no problem with the WWE playing or doing this in front of no audience. I really don't.
You should. It's terrible.
Oh, I would never watch it.
Yeah.
Apparently The Undertaker is still out there. I swear the guy's like 90 at this point.
Yeah.
He was my favorite wrestler when I was 7.
Yeah, he debuted in the WWE in 1990, I believe.
WWF at the time.
Very true. Yeah. Not the World Wildlife Foundation. Yeah, 1990.
Was it 1990?
I'm almost positive it's Survivor Series 90.
That's a long time ago.
He's got to be in his 50s.
He's in his 50s.
It'll be just to
He's
add
55.
to that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
No, I was gonna say I'm more with you than not. I know we've talked a little about this. My thing is, I think there's a non-zero chance that we start on time and we don't end. Like they have to stop it. That's my one worry. I think I'm a little more concerned about that than maybe other people. Will see. I think at some point, certainly if we can get it under control, we have to try the best we can to put some things out there. I just hope that everyone is ready, that if, and hopefully not, there is a really bad reaction to it, that we have some contingency plans in place. But with testing, maybe with some other things, they can get it off the ground. And you know what? That would be a huge boost, not just to sports fans. I think everyone, regardless, just wants a little bit, semblance of normalcy in their everyday life, to say we're on the right track, even though it's not going to be back to normal for a very long time.
I think after that horse competition, the NBA is like, yo,
well,
we got to do something.
we're first starting tomorrow.
We got to rock.
Don't remind me. I had forgot that.
Yeah.
I tried to clear that from my mind.
There's nothing to really there's nothing to fill the void right now outside of real sports. It's true. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff. We've had a blast with these 2K sims, and we're going to keep running them out there. Yeah. It's been awesome, like thoroughly enjoyable.
Game tonight.
Yeah.
Got a good big game tonight.
Bolts.
But that doesn't mean that, real NBA playoffs and opening day of the Major League Baseball season, right? Week 1 of the NFL season, whichever soccer leagues Josh loves, that type of stuff is unreplaceable. So I think we get something relatively soon. It appears that Fauci is at this point saying we might be able. Don't worry, Ben.
I got my hot words in my brain, and I wasn't really paying attention. I heard Fauci. I sprouted up,
saying that we might be able to slowly reintegrate people back into the economy. I choose my words wisely.
You're one of the smarter people I know. Listen, I think that there's no doubt that we're going to be able to do that. That's just my opinion. I think we will be able to slowly re-entry things, including sports, in some point in 2020. The question is what happens when we do that. I don't know the answer to that. I think it's a pretty wide scenario, a range of outcomes, but we're going to have to try it at some point and just have different contingency plans for different scenarios. I don't think there's anything else that you could really do. We can't wait forever, of course. That's not the answer.
Yeah. And chat seems to be very divided on this as well, Josh. And that's kind of what you see everywhere.
Yeah. Listen, if there was an obvious right answer, I think we would do it. But it's very complicated. So we're going to have to wait and see. I just hope no matter what we choose, we look at it objectively. We got reasons for it and we've got contingency plans. But in the meantime, League of Legends holding it down as well, which has been another, I will say, there's been a couple things during this that I never would have discovered or even had any interest. One was NBA 2K Sims. The other was League, esports. Those are things that I dove into, not massively, but I gave it a try. A lot more interesting and intricacies that I never would have discovered if this never happened.
Yeah.
We really are in just an absolutely bonkers time. We're going to look back at this in a couple years, hopefully, and just be like, we remember when nothing existed?
Yeah. No, it's, I thought about this. I woke up this morning and this is what concerned me, right? I thought to myself, this is the new normal, and I'm beginning to adjust to it. I don't want to adjust to this. I don't want this to become commonplace. I don't want it to be normal. I don't.
I'm with you. Ben. No, I'm 100% with you. On one way, I think I'm proud of not just me, but a lot of people I see out there really adjusting to a brutal situation, staying positive, finding things to take interest in. But I don't want, we need things back. We need sports back. And that's why it's going to come back. It's a huge part of a lot of people's lives, not just the people who play it, not just the DFS world. And I'm excited for when we do get some of that back, even if it's a little while from now.
We can't allow ourselves to be sucked into a dystopian police state with draconian measures to keep us inside, Ben.
How long have you been waiting to pull that one out?
I just thought of it right now.
I'm loving it.
Just chat, we do not have a bracket for this. We have the daily challenge giving away cash each and every night. So you can follow the bracket, of course, because we're doing the playoffs. But we've got the daily challenge. They're up. They're ready to go. So come in. And of course, we have the FanDuel contest giving away money for free. All you got to do is sign up, fill out your lineup, and you're eligible.
Cash money every single day.
Yep.
Every single day, cash money, putting it out there. $200 up top in the daily challenge. And I know Ben just mentioned it, but if you haven't checked out the League of Legends package, first of all, really solid price on these packages. Second of all, keep an eye out each morning. We will be doing some flash sales where, like the other week, I think 2 days in a row, we did the League of Legends, the esports premium package with ownership, projections, top stacks, you name it, for $1 for a week. Like, literally can't beat that. Unless it was free, but that would be ridiculous. But it basically is free if you're doing it for $1. So keep your eyes peeled for all of that stuff. It's a tough time for everyone, and we also want to make it so you guys are able to consume this type of content without, really hurting. So awesemo.com, check out the esports tab, or awesemo.com/join. You can sign up. People making a lot of money playing League of Legends. I've been playing. I haven't had as much success though, but I think that's because I'm still like learning how to do this, but I've been sticking with it.
Yeah, there was, I just saw right as we went on, the slate went final for this morning. Saw the man himself, Alex Baker, grab a piece of first place. Big split, but, this is one of those, it's got that showdown mentality where it is feasible to grab, a solo winner is going to be very difficult, but you legitimately can grab a piece of that pie. We've seen it time and time again. You understand the correlations, you read that primer, you get on those projections, you're going to have a chance. And we've seen a lot of people say it's pretty funny, but League of Legends has been one of my most successful DFS sports this year. I never would have thought that. So that is a cool benefit.
I know some people were psyched for the bracket. Unfortunately, we can't just
give 10K away every couple of weeks.
No.
Yeah, it's tough to dole out $10,000. The bracket was awesome. The final game, Josh, was like as good as it gets, and it was phenomenal. But we're still doing cash prizes every day up top in the daily challenge, and FanDuel's doing cash prizes on their DFS contest. So there's still plenty of cash to be made.
Yeah, look, you just got to win the daily contest every day, and you can get
50 days in a row.
Yeah,
boom.
Yeah,
how hard is that?
Well, your chance of winning the daily challenge is way better. Like in context, yes, there's $10,000 in the bracket, but you had like a 1 in 72,000, actually 7,200 chance, which actually isn't true. If you'd been following along, you give yourself a much better opportunity to win that than people that didn't. But still, it's tough to win in these daily challenges. It's doable. We've seen several people like take top 3 more than 1 or 2 times in a row.
No doubt. I will tell you, one of the things that I'm most shocked about is these daily challenge. More nights than not, one of the people that either win the top prize or one of the weekly or monthly passes is a name that I recognize. And I've been stunned at that. It's been a lot of friends of the show. It's been people who hang in YouTube. It's not just random people. I'm not saying there aren't randos, but it's amazing how many people that it's like, oh, wow, I see that guy in chat. He's part of the Slack community. Now he's taking down a free month. Now we got a couple $100 to his name. It happens more than you think in these daily challenges.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I've gotten a bunch of DMs of people that picked up like daily challenge weeks and months. Like, yo, that's so awesome that you guys are still doing stuff during this break. Like, I get another month when we get back to real life.
Look at that. Perfect on time. Guy won the Madden Sim Daily last night.
Bingo.
Hopping in chat. Good for him. Congratulations, man. Love to see that.
MVP. Mind power. This is like watching Chris Wallace, Morning Joe, and Mark Levin on set together. Be careful which one of those you're considering me mind power. Second of all, Josh, how many of those have you heard of?
I don't think.
You don't know either, any of the 3. Ben, how many of them do you know?
Come on.
Like Biggie Smalls?
3? Yeah, not well, but yes, I know those names.
Okay.
Maybe I should tweet about it.
So the Notorious B.I.G. I don't know who Morning Joe is.
You probably wouldn't know Mark Levin.
I thought that's not the TMZ guy.
No.
No, it's not. But
yeah, I don't know who those people are. Who should I want to? Who am I in that trio?
Under the bowels of a hidden bunker, deep beneath.
Yeah, that's all you.
Who am I of the 3?
You heard that intro?
Lafayette, who do you think he is of the 3?
Josh?
Yeah.
Probably Chris Cuomo.
Chris, wow, choice D.
I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, I was gonna say Morning Joe.
Are all
He's
3?
Got to be more. Yeah, he's Morning Joe.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's not a good thing.
I mean,
it's fine.
Yeah. Ben's definitely Chris Wallace.
Yes,
There's no question.
That's a lock.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that narrows it down to who you are.
Right,
So there
I
we
need
go.
to search for Morning Joe.
Horse race guys loving the fact that Josh asked if it was the TMZ guy.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Isn't Levin his last name?
Yeah, but not him.
Yeah, different humans.
Harvey? Is his first name Harvey?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it Levin?
I don't know. I really don't.
Morning.
It is. You're right.
Joe.
And then I'll just say this. I'll give a quick plug once again. I know we have some people who have been enjoying the golf. We have the Outlaw Tour, which is, say what you want. Obviously, it's not the PGA Tour, but we do have some content. Jason Roslin, one of the great guys I work with him all the time on the golf side, he's been providing content for it. So if you are looking to dabble in those showdowns, obviously we'd love for you to hop in Slack, check out the article that he's been posting. It's tough to get information. I know I've spoke with him a little bit about it. There's just not a lot out there. They weren't ready for this, spotlight, but they're doing what they can to make it a decent event. We have a couple names that are familiar, but we still want to make sure we give you what you may need if you are interested in playing and taking a shot with the Outlaw Tour.
Yeah. And so hold on, Ben, that locks in less than 2 hours.
So the Outlaw Tour, the showdown for today, it looks like it locks right at basically noon.
It's a Tuesday though.
Yeah.
How does this work?
It's just straight lawless. Their schedule is a little wonky.
Are you telling me they're outlaws?
Yeah, they're rebels. They're doing some things. So, and Jake Harry always bringing honestly the best points. Break free. It hasn't been filling, so there's been some overlay. There's been some rake free, and there you go. Yeah, this is the late slate, the late round 2. They split their showdowns in golf, but the morning, the main slate already locked at 10, and it didn't fill. So these are things that keep an eye out going forward if Outlaw Golf is going to stick around.
How many days a week are they doing this?
So they run it a couple of days, like a normal golf tournament. It's just, again, it's hard. Like people, I think it's a little crazy. Some people are like, oh my God, they don't have shot tracker. Yeah, obviously it's like we can barely get scores. I mean, those are things that make it a little difficult, but you know what? Everyone's in the same boat. If you do the research and dig for the information, you can uncover some things about these golfers. And I do think there's a game theory aspect of it. So going forward in the coming days, when you see those slates, whether you're doing late showdown, which again hasn't locked today, or just traditional showdown each day, come check it out. And it is another option that we have in these times.
Well, yeah, what I meant, by the way, was that like usually it's Thursday through Sunday,
Oh yeah, I know. It's
all over
atypical.
Okay.
So listen, it's the prizes on DraftKings are more than the golfer's top prize for the event.
That's insanity.
Like it's kind of crazy to think about, but that's 100% true.
Like what's the purse in these?
It's like 20K, 30K.
Really?
I mean, it's the Outlaw Tour.
20K split 100 ways, or 20K to first place?
No, certainly not to first place.
Oh my God.
Certainly not to first place. Like, and you got to pay to go in the events. I don't, this is not an established tour, but there you go. Coolers. The entry fee for an actual golfer play, and this was like $600. So like you're paying to go in, and if you like come in first, you win like a couple grand.
So it's basically like their own version of a GPP.
It's something around.
Yeah, right. They're playing a tournament.
It's weird, wild stuff, but you know what? Again, it is what it is. And if you're going to play, you might as well get some research from us.
Wow. And yes, you should. Is there any way you can watch it at all?
Not to my knowledge, no.
So one of us would do ourselves well by getting the camera in there, like an iPhone, and just providing a live stream on Twitch
of one hole and one particular shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just be on a super fast golf cart, get to as many as I can.
Jim Smith just teed off, and now he's out of frame.
It's very difficult to get information, but listen, it is what it is. I didn't think I don't want to call this a tour, but DK updates twice, 9 holes at each time. It's
That's insane.
You just need
It is
18,
what
you
it
need
is.
18 people. You need one person at each hole to walk around with an iPhone behind them, show the
Yep.
shot.
There you go. There you go. And then just have like a ton of different feeds. So you can,
You need 36 people. One person at each green, one person following up into the middle of the approach shots.
All right, let's get on it.
You got a whole new career on your hands. Outlaw tour director over here. Take them to the
Look,
top.
I'm sure that I could do a better job than they're doing.
Oh, but yeah, you would think there'd be like some way to televise something, right? I mean,
Put a GoPro on every single caddy's head. They probably don't have caddies, do they?
Nope. I would seriously doubt
they don't have.
I mean, they might have
bags.
unpaid. People might have dudes with them.
I've just assumed with the precautions that they're taking, like no one's going near these guys.
They have
also
like the
true.
Happy Gilmore caddies
Yeah, with one
Where-
shoe on.
where he's washing his underwear in the ball washer.
He's out in the pond to scrub himself down. That's about
And
3
yes,
inches to
we-
the
we
left. That's
still-
because you don't have a shoe on.
We still have FanDuel for NBA every single night. We got, giving away money on there so you can live without the tourney. I'm glad to hear that. We got plenty of ENBA stuff, plenty of chances to win money each and every night.
And we do have FanDuel, like Ben just said. We definitely do have the FanDuel tournaments
And that's not going away for sure.
and the daily challenge. Yeah, the Outlaw Tour. It's in America, right?
Yeah, it's in Arizona.
So like, they're allowed to do this.
They're outlaws, man.
I was about to make a joke that it was in Australia, and then I realized that's Outback, not Outlaw.
No rules, just right. Outlaw Steakhouse.
I mean, the Outlaws. It would be the perfect place to do it. Would be Arizona.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
Tombstone, Arizona. They're all
Tombstone.
outlaws, man. You don't know
No.
Tombstone?
I mean, their
The
pizzas
OK
are delicious.
I love that
The
movie.
OK Corral.
Of course.
The Golden
Doc
Corral.
Holliday.
You're naming
Wyatt
food.
Earp.
You're naming food for me. Tombstone pizzas and
Ben knows what I'm
No.
talking about.
Golden Corral is
Yeah.
great. If you want to eat
Tombstone,
like an awful person,
I think is a ghost city, but that's neither here nor there.
No, it's not.
Really?
It's now it's basically like a tourist place.
Yeah, I thought it was.
You can go see the OK Corral. No, it's actually. I would really love to go. As a matter,
I
of
would like
fact.
to see that. I always joke about not wanting to see stuff. That is right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
maybe if it was like the Good Corral or the Great Corral, but the OK Corral, not just.
What about the
that's not
Golden
enough for me.
Corral?
That's not.
Yeah. What about the Golden Corral?
It's fantastic when you're hungry. You're not
Josh,
happy about it when you leave.
I would rather starve.
Okay.
No.
Have you heard of Wyatt Earp?
Yes, man. Yes.
Okay.
I'm not confused by what you're
Holiday.
talking about here. I'm aware
What?
of all of these things.
Oh, okay. So you're just okay. Gotcha.
Doc Holliday is a coach of a football team. True story. Marshall. He coaches Marshall. Doc Holliday. Sick name.
Oh yeah. Doc Holliday was also the late great. What's his name?
Doc Holiday?
Yeah, the pitcher.
No, Roy Halladay,
Yeah, that's
So
what
the
I'm saying.
pitcher?
the pitcher. Yeah, the pitcher.
Do
Who,
you know who these people are?
Okay, plane crash. Not
I'm
good.
slow. I'm a little slow today. It was amazing that it turned out he was intoxicated too. I just never would have thought that he would
I
have
didn't
been.
know that.
What?
He had like a
didn't
bunch of
know that.
stuff in him, didn't
Dude,
he?
he was loaded.
I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah, he was.
He
Sad.
had like 6 or 7 things in his bloodstream.
Oh yeah, which is just it's strange. I mean, he was the most like you watch him on a mound, and he's the type of guy you would think never would have touched like a beer.
High
You know?
concentrations of morphine and amphetamine with the presence of an antidepressant, the
Yeah.
sleeping aid Ambien, and trace amounts of alcohol. He had a drug
That's-
combination similar to a speedball.
And decided to fly a plane over the water.
That's
Crazy.
very bad. And
He was
yeah,
so good.
Amazing. He
so
fell off really quickly, unfortunately, but he had a stretch there where he was phenomenal.
before we get into anything, I just real quick, and I don't want to transition, and sorry, but I have to ask you, Josh, how many times have you been to Golden Corral?
I've never been there.
Yeah, me too,
A
obviously.
handful.
Okay. And you're still living?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am
Those
in
commercials-
for all of the trash buffets that you can go to.
Those commercials, mistakes were made. That's all I'm going to say.
So I'm not opposed to going to like IHOP
Me
if
neither.
if I'm in the mood for some terrible pancakes. Sometimes, just like I'm all right eating bad food. Golden Corral, though, there hasn't been a single time in my life where I've driven past one of those and gone, damn, I still haven't gotten there.
Yeah, you guys.
There are none by me, but even if there was,
There's something that makes them better. If you're really hungry.
Oh, well, sure, but wouldn't that be anywhere?
Yeah, but sometimes you just want like 15. You got to treat it like you're going to like a tapas restaurant. You get like a cheeseburger and some macaroni and cheese and a piece of cake, some mashed potatoes and some cocktail shrimp, and like you get like 20 of things. You get a taco. They got everything.
Cooler says, "How many times have you been to Golden Corral on a speedball though?"
I was on the inverse.
I tell you what.
Do you ever go to Shady Maple, Laffy?
What's that?
Do you ever go to Shady Maple?
No.
Okay.
I've never heard of it.
What is that?
So it's an all-you-can-eat buffet in Amish country. This would be a back home thing for you.
Pennsylvania Amish country.
Yeah, so you're going to like Lancaster.
Oh. No.
They've got a monstrous Amish buffet They
really?
do like all-you-can-eat steak nights.
I would try that out. Dude, the Amish markets.
2 million
you go to
clams.
like the farmers market, some of those Amish
chicken.
Markets, they got some great stuff.
All-you-can-eat New York strips on like
Ponderosa.
Tuesdays.
I've been to Ponderosa.
Have you ever been to the Cracker Barrel?
Yes.
Yeah,
I've never been there.
Good breakfast.
Yeah.
All these places probably should be liquidated, but they're fine.
See, I'm not huge on like even local diners because there's just like there's a 70% chance that someone's in the back, dipping his dick into the pancake mix.
You watch Road Trip too much, don't you?
No, those diners are not suitable. And I have pretty low standards.
I look Amish. I guess that's a good thing. Yeah, I'm not about the. I don't eat a lot of fast food, or like chain restaurants. So, not my style.
You should. It's
Josh,
great.
do you ever have food at your house?
What do you mean?
You do, right?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, you have to hear this discussion from the other day.
You know that about me, Josh, don't you?
What? That you don't like cook at all? Yeah.
But not only not just that he doesn't cook at all. He has no food at the house. So 365 days a year. We're not talking quarantine. He goes out for food. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day, every single meal of the year, he goes out to get it.
I would prefer that.
Oh yeah, me too. But it's just crazy to think that that's an every single meal thing. It's rather impressive.
No, I cook all the time.
That's right. Yeah.
This is why we have sharp people in chat. Why Bink? Area buffet in Vegas, best buffet. Yes, that's correct. I've eaten there many a times, and that is. I actually look forward. If I don't eat in the Paris, which has my favorite breakfast restaurant, I go to the Aria buffet a lot.
Is that the one with the? Is that the free buffet where you stand in line for 5 hours?
Well, there are those, but if you,
what'd you say?
I mean, if you lose egregious amounts of money, which I'm very familiar with, you get comped with stuff like that. That's the first thing they'll comp is like, oh yeah, here, come on in. You just bought a Subaru worth of breakfast here at the roulette table. But yeah, I no food in the fridge too often unless it's leftovers.
Pretty wild, man.
Last time we were at Vegas, we were staying at the Aria. Katie hopped in the shower. We were getting ready to leave. We were driving to LA. I was like, okay, while you're in the shower, I'm going to go down to the blackjack table just to sit down. I sat down. I put $100 down on the table. I lost every single hand that I played and walked back upstairs, and she was still in the shower.
And that's blackjack. That's like let it ride season.
I basically lost however many straight coin flips that would have been, and she had not yet stopped showering. No, she's like, "Wow, you're back quickly." I was like, "I already lost it."
It's so easy to lose so fast in blackjack. It's
bad.
Because then you start upping each hand. Like you go on a little bit of a run. You're playing $10 hands and 20. You're like, all right, fucking $100 hand, and
then you have to double down, and then they're showing 16, and then they get a 2, and somehow they keep going even though that's impossible, and they get a 3.
Yeah, you're splitting, you're doubling, and then you're out
like,
$1,000.
The rules change.
And then
that's
that quickly
game.
you're gone.
Like roulette, let it ride. Caribbean stud. For anyone that knows, you're probably, if you know me and you know Caribbean stud, you're probably not going to be shocked to know that I've had my battles with that game. That's one of the worst.
Casino War. How about that, Ben?
So Casino War.
I love that.
It's brutal, dude.
I'm not sure where the house edge is on Casino War.
I've actually won on many occasions playing Casino War. Probably just luck, but well, obviously luck in terms of it's war, but I've had good results.
Casino War might be 50-50.
I think it is. Maybe not. I don't know. Like you said, I don't know how where they edge.
It almost is.
I don't know where the edge is because
50.2.
See, I don't even know where they're getting that. Obviously, like Let It Ride, the rake is that's in the Keno territory of like worst games that you could play.
Are you in the craps?
Oh, here's a line for you. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but
ahead, Josh,
Ben was asking the question, where does the edge come from? From Wizard of Odds, he says, I'm often asked where the house edge lays in this game. Where the edge comes from is when there is a war, you either win 1 unit or lose 2.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
It's always something.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. So that's the only one. And you don't go to war all that often anyway.
No. That's why it's close. But that's as good as you're going to find. Blackjack, of course, especially if you're playing like pretty standard, you can mitigate, even though it's 7 decks. You don't want to play Caribbean Stud. You don't want to play Let It Ride. All the games that I play, you don't want to play.
What about craps, Ben?
So craps, I don't know how to play. I've been taught like 5 different times and I never remember. I've played it, but I don't really understand, 7-11, the line, the pass, whatever. I hear it's a great group game, which is when I've played it. You like it?
I don't know all that much about it. I was actually telling my buddy the other day who plays all the time that I want to go to a casino and he can learn me on it. There's like anytime. The pass line or whatever, the pass line, and there's I get the basics, but I've never really sat down or stood up and played. And it's a weird one because you could be you could be just standing around betting against the guy rolling or betting with him, and that's what I think makes it a fascinating game is you don't have to play to bet on it.
No, there's some good like obviously if you're going to a casino for fun, it doesn't really matter, but if you're going, I don't want to say to try to win money, but those games are not created equal.
No.
Some of them you're burning money, other ones you'll probably lose slower, so keep that in mind. I've played them all. I learned Mississippi last time I was in Vegas. I was not in the right mind after a long night. I was playing Mississippi Stud, which I couldn't explain it at all, but that was a game that I've always seen and I'd never played. So I sat down, bad things ensued.
Josh, do you know how to play Mississippi Stud?
No, I know Big John Stud.
What?
Yeah, he's an old wrestler.
Oh, I was going to say, that's a game I've never seen. I don't know what casinos you're going to.
So today's theme, ask Josh a question, and he'll say something that sounds similar to the question that you just asked him.
Best I could do, man. Best I could do. No, I don't know Mississippi Stud.
Neither do I.
There's some wild ones out
there. How about the money wheel?
They called me the Pennsylvania Stud.
I've spun the wheel many a times.
I've come in and just taken like $100 chips, throw it on the Joker or the 50.
Yeah,
and just let it ride and lost a lot of money playing that game, like a lot. And then for a minute there, I thought I had a bit of a strategy where you lay it down, you lay like this much on one, right? And you're hedging your bet, right? So you lay like 5 down on 1 down on 5,
yep.
and then you get one on the 50, or which is like 50 times whatever it is, and I lost it all, just a little bit slower.
Yeah. Money wheel back in PA at any sort of social gatherings was always a good time. Block parties and such.
Never done that. Only at the casinos.
Oh, I've only ever played it in like very shady parties back home. It's like the jankiest thing every summer that's like the thing. So
now, is this a money wheel or is there some unscrupulous stuff going on with what you're spinning?
Money wheel. So the general gist of it is going to be, you're placing bets on a spun wheel. Sometimes they show dice instead of dollars and stuff, but principle's generally the same. You're betting on something to show up on a wheel. So back home, we have block parties. Each fire department in each quadrant of the town will have like a weekend shindig where everybody just gets bombed Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They have bands. They have like carnival games for the kids. So you're just drinking like dollar beers and gambling. Constantly.
This is back home?
Yes. So one section of town will have one weekend. And like 2 or 3 weeks later, the next fire department will have one. Then the next fire department will have one. And then there's one like on the neighboring town will have one. They're all over the place. But they're all just variations on a theme of like garbage food. You're talking like funnel cakes and all sorts of that malarkey. But the big piece, at least for me always, was playing the money wheel.
The money wheel.
Yeah. Even as a kid, it would be like, Dad, can we go stand at the money wheel and gamble? And Dad would be like, can you just leave me alone so I can drink beers?
I'd be all about it.
Yeah.
Stuff. We had Nigel in chat explaining Mississippi Stud. Appreciate that. Yeah, casinos are casinos. You probably want to stay away from that stuff, but it is fun. So fun.
Huh.
So
maybe I've honestly never even I've never played
I'm going to drag you to Foxwoods with me. We'll go to David Burke. We'll get a good steak. We'll hit up the Newport Club, and then we'll get after it.
I can assure you wuld won't have to drag me there. I'm in.
Yeah.
What's happening?
What's the Newport Club?
That's like,
oh, I like the sound of that.
It's like the it's like the higher limit every time. So this is happening to me.
I didn't know if that
times.
Was like the strip club.
No. It's like,
I thought you were saying I could just smoke countless Newports.
Well, that's probably encouraged, but
I think you're the president of that club already.
Of it. And like, this has happened to me multiple times because I'm me and I always look disheveled. Like I like walk in there and then the guy like in the suit is like, excuse me, like this is and I'm like, yeah, I know where I'm going. Like, and then he's like, oh, like, do you need anything? It's like, yeah, you're about to throw me out before I even gotten here because I look like I'm deranged. But I don't I like to play kind of by myself.
Does that really happen to you where you walk into like a high roller area and they say, excuse me, sir?
Yeah, that has happened to me multiple times. Like,
really?
Yeah.
What do they say?
Well, they're just like, excuse me, like this is the either the high roller or like, are you looking for something? I get that a lot. Like, yeah, I'm looking for the table that I'm walking directly towards. I think I found it, brah.
Now bring me a drink.
Yeah. Bring me a water.
Right.
Next time I go back up to Narragansett, I'll let you know and we could meet at Foxwoods.
Yeah, man. I go to the woods often. And every time I end up, regardless of my night, to go to David Burke, great steak. What happens at the end of the night? I end up at Fuddruckers. My guiltiest pleasure in the world is Fuddruckers. I love that place. Cannot beat it.
I can't deal with it. I can't look at the sign of that place without picturing Idiocracy.
Yeah, well, that's Idiocracy.
And I want to say it on the stream, but I'm going to hold off.
Yeah. I love that place. Well, have you ever been there?
Fuddruckers? I don't believe I have.
Oh, it's so good.
We're 50 to 100 years away from the name of that place changing slightly.
50 to 100 years away?
Yeah, so they keep showing this sign of Fuddruckers. And like, as time goes on, we devolve into worse and worse people. And it stops being Fuddruckers. They start moving a couple letters around. And it becomes BFers.
Yeah, I saw where you were going with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is hysterical.
I feel like something is lost in translation here, but
yeah. I mean, it's just what's happening in the world right now. We're getting dumber and dumber, and we're gonna name things that are funny on the outside.
I mean, it wouldn't stop me from eating there if it's good, but I've never been there. So
I just don't know how you have to pay at that place.
What's that?
I don't know how you have to pay when you go to the new one.
Times are tough.
Oh, yeah. Anthony says Ben goes to all these exotic places I never knew. Yeah, Ben lives a pretty wild life.
Real exotic. But
it's funny because he feels like the most secluded. Like Ben comes off as a recluse, but he's kind of not.
Yeah, I'm a lot different than a lot of people that meet me for the first. Like, I'm a lot different than I think you would think I am. I mean,
like
Lawson,
we've hung out. We hung out in California. We hung
Mhm.
out in New York. Had a great time.
Oh yeah, it's always a good time. Good stuff. And after that, that's the one thing that I'll say, and then we can move on. Is like, I will actually make a better effort because of this to see people. You know, there's so many times, Luffy and Josh, we've all been like, yeah, no, we're gonna make that happen. Like, we'll come down, we'll come up, but like, it's kind of not gonna happen. After this hiatus, like, plans will become more, and I think that's for everybody. But that is a nice benefit. Like, I will make an effort to go places now a lot more. Maybe it'll dissipate at the end, but I'm looking forward to actually planning and executing chips.
This sounds messed up, but I don't miss people.
Well, I never missed people, but
not once in my life.
But I will say, I think the reason why is I have the greatest neighborhood, and like we do quarantine gatherings where everybody goes out on their, balcony or on their porch, and we're all distanced and we all drink and we play music and it's a blast. And I think that's really, really helped, keep me sane throughout all of this. So if I didn't have contact with them, maybe I'd be thinking a lot differently. But I hear what you're saying, Ben. It definitely opened your eyes to all of this. And I don't know, pretty lucky people given the liberties and freedoms that we had going into all of this.
This helps a lot.
Oh, absolutely. And I would hope it helps for the viewers as well, for you guys that hang with us every morning and interact and chat, for sure.
Definitely. It helps us, and we want to make it a show, of course, that we're bringing you sports news, but also one where we can just all disconnect for a time and then, get away from some of the things that are overarching. So we appreciate that. We've got some good things, and I'm just looking at the lobby right now. We got another, these prizes in League of Legends, 50K up top.
Yeah.
Both in the $10 and the 444. And we've got a $15 on Thursday, 100K to first. The Insomnia special, like,
nuts.
That's serious cash.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. So those are things that just on the DFS side that I think we all need to look forward to and certainly get ready for if we're going to play.
Yeah, and you can wake up and still watch like the end of these games. So I would assume if you have a sweat, you can pop it on. Like if you check your lineup in the morning, you say, "Oh, I'm in good position right now." You can sweat it as you lay in bed in the morning. So that's pretty cool. But there's 6 games, so there's 12 different teams for this League of Legends 50K to first. Titans Fury, $10 to enter. I'll get a couple lineups in there because why not? And because we have good content. Because if we didn't, I wouldn't know what I was doing.
Yes.
Yep.
So, what do you guys want to do before we head out? I don't know if maybe we hold off and do some better trivia tomorrow. We've got a good hour, 15 minutes of conversation in today. Got some football conversation, football talk, a lot of football talk, as a matter of fact. We got some casino, some Mississippi stud.
Oh, man, Caribbean stud. Let It Ride is truly the worst and the best. But
I don't mess with anything other than blackjack.
That's smart. So the difference is, real quick, in blackjack, you can't make a lot of money unless you're betting a lot of money. In those other games, not that it would ever happen, but you could bet $10 and make 50K.
Right.
Like, it's that type of game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work out like that from my experience.
No, not a lot of 10 into 50K games.
No, it's just, wow, that didn't work. It's just,
I'm down $600.
That's not my fault. That's my parents' fault. They always pushed me into Let It Ride. Like, they say you shouldn't push your kids into sport and stuff. My parents pushed me into Let It Ride instead of blackjack as a kid. And now look where I ended up. So sick.
Hopefully we can push you into hitting that thumbs up button before you head out.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Look at that. Good work.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Yeah.
Segue.
I'm a pro. We'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday, talking more stuff, updates on everything around these leagues. If it's happening in sports, we're talking about it. Simple as that. If you guys ever have any ideas, stuff you'd like to hear talked about, hit us up on Twitter. Follow us at Josh Engleman, at Laffy_D, at JazzRazDFS. Twitter handle is right above our head. Do us that solid. Follow us. It's a good decision. You won't regret it. And we'll see you tomorrow. By the way, check out the esports package at Awesemo.com and all of the free content we have over there as well. Remember, we're going to be starting to pump out a bunch of NFL stuff as well. So if you're prepping for Dynasty, if you're prepping for the draft, for best ball, we're going to, well, keep your eyes out. I'll tell you that much. AWESEMO. We'll see you back here tomorrow on the morning show.